This is Glaucia here, and today I've created this full face smoky look, and so I did it with the wing liners. So if you'd like to see how I did it, then stay with me and keep on watching. To start out, I am going, because this is a full face, I will prep my skin sometimes, not every time. I'll be doing with a little bit of primer. I'm using Maybelline New York Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, and I'll just do it on the spots where I have bigger pores to kind of help it to not be so, you know, to be a little smoother. So I don't do this every time, so anyways, yeah, I usually actually don't use it at all, but since we're gonna be doing a full face, might as well, right? Then I'm gonna do my foundation, which is, I'm using Maybelline Fit Me Dewy, and my shade is in 210 Sandy Beige, and I'm using a moist beauty blender. This is from Real Techniques, and I just apply foundation all over my face, making sure to blend everywhere really well. I do not like a cakey look, so alright, after I'm done with my foundation, I go over my face with some concealer, and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me, and I use two different shades, and I'm using the lighter shade, which is now a vanilla. It's 11. I use the lighter one under my eyes, and on the bridge of my nose a little bit, kind of create this little V here on my forehead, on top of my lips, and on my jaw. And then I use the darker shade on the spots that I want to hide. This one is really close to my skin color, my foundation, so I use it to hide these different spots that I kind of want to hide. So, and then I can reapply as I need to. So anyways, so I blend it again, this concealer. There we go. After I'm done with my concealer, I go ahead and I set it all up with my setting powder. This I'm using e.l.f. It's a e.l.f. translucent powder, so it doesn't have any color. And I'm gonna use my fluffy brush. I'm just gonna go ahead and dust it all over my face, make sure my foundation stays. Alright, now that I'm done setting my foundation, I go on to contouring. So I'm using another fluffy brush. This one is a little flatter fluffy, and it's a cheapy brand, so you can use any fluffy brush, kind of flat if you want to use. I'm gonna use my Anastasia contour kit, Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, and I'm going to use actually this middle shade here, the darker one, and sometimes a little bit of the other one, since I'm kind of out of the other one, so I'll just kind of, you know, brush it right there. And I go under my cheekbones, I go on my temples, And then go a little bit above my forehead, under my chin. That way I highlight my jaw. I go a little under my lips because I feel like it kind of helps make it illusion that it plumps up my lips a little bit. And then I go over on the side of my nose. Because it is a full makeup, I'm gonna actually go over it again with a smaller brush on my nose. But I just do it anyway since I'm using this big brush right now, so. And I kind of go a little bit under on my neck to kind of elongate my neck here. Alright, so now I'll get a different brush that's a little bit fluffier. This one is from Ombre Decay. It's one of their eyeshadow palette brushes, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go on my nose. A little more defined on the contouring of my nose. Alright, now the contouring is done. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. So I'll brush it a little bit, get all the hairs in place. And I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that came with the Dipbrow pomade. Well, it didn't come, I have to buy it separately, but it's the one that goes along with this pomade, and that's what I'm using. Anastasia Dipbrow pomade in medium brown. And so I start on the bottom of my brow and I line it all the way, creating my arch. And then I go on the top and I define this part that I want. Usually I'll kind of go, you know, the tip of my nose here with my iris, and I'll just kind of find the highest spot, and then at the corner of my eye I'll find the lower spot, and usually on the side of my nose is where I find where it starts. So then I'll kind of create some illusion of some hairs on the front. Then I create stroke like hairs. I'll just go filling it all in between. I like to brush my eyebrows here and there, you know, as I'm doing it, because it kind of removes some of the harsh lines and it kind of blends it well. Makes it look a little more natural. I don't like really harsh beginnings either of my eyebrow here either. So I like to blend it a little. So I kind of remove some of that. So now that we're done with the brows, I go ahead and I like to, if I'm doing this, you know, fancy one way, I'll go ahead and I will outline my eyebrows with concealer on the bottom part, just because it kind of brightens it up. And I'm using the lighter concealer, which is the vanilla. And I just go all the way around the bottom of it, contouring it. And this is my concealer brush, which is my flat one. And any flat brush will do for this. I'm using a really old one that I have from New Skin that I got when I got married. It's really old, but I really like it. So alright, so there. I'll do a little bit of concealer right there by the inner corners of my eye. It kind of helps blend a little. Also the beginning of my eyebrows. So after we've done the concealer on the brows, I like to set my eyebrows with eyebrow. Sometimes I actually even go ahead and put a little bit of eyeshadow on my eyebrows, and it helps make sure that it stays in place. So I'm gonna use, like, it's a dark brown eyeshadow that I have from a NYX palette that I have. This is like a NYX Wicked Dreams palette, and I just use the same brush that I used for the Dipbrow from eyebrows, and I just kind of go on it with the eyeshadow, mostly on the end part, not as much on the beginning. And it helps filling in those hairs, and it helps set the eyebrows also. Okay. So now that we've done that, now we go ahead and we set the eyebrow with eyebrow gel. This is e.l.f. just clear gel, and you can get those anywhere. Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens. And I just set my eyebrows with this clear gel. And that's it for my eyebrows. Now onto my cheeks. And I'm using Milani Baked Blush. It's in Luminoso number 5. And I just apply with the blush brush to the apples of my cheek, kind of bringing it up. And then I go on to highlighting, and I'm using the Master Chrome from Maybelline. This one is in the gold, 100 Molten Gold. And I'm using the same brush for my blush, and I just apply it to the cheekbones, and that gives me the luminous glow. And I like a lot of highlighter, so I apply pretty good. I'll apply highlighter to the bridge of my nose, and I use my fingertips and I apply it to the Cupid's bow, so right there on my lip. Now that we're done with the cheeks, now we're gonna start on the eyes. So I'm gonna start out by priming my eyelids with MAC. This is a soft Pro Longwear Paint Pot and Soft Ochre, and it's from MAC. And I'm using one of the Real Techniques, just like a little brush. This one is actually a brush made for, it's the deluxe crease brush from Real Techniques, but I like to use it for my primer. So I'll just apply this all over my eyelid. And because we're doing a smoky eye, I applied this a little bit to the bottom of the eyes also. All right, now that we're done with this priming, we are going to go ahead and start with the eyeshadows. And I like to start by doing my crease first. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm using my Naked Palette Heat from Urban Decay. And I'm gonna use these really warm colors. I'm gonna use this red one here, which is the Devil, or He Devil, and I might use some of this Low Blow, and I'm just gonna use a combination of these really warm colors. So we're gonna pick up a little bit of this red one, He Devil, and we're gonna apply it to the inner, crease of my eyes. Crease, and you just blend it really well. So I'm gonna get some more of that same He Devil. And I like how pigmented these eyeshadows are from Urban Decay. And they're really easy to blend. And I kind of go a little bit above my crease, blending it up. Because otherwise you don't see it once my eyes are open, so. A little bit of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get a little bit of the sauced, and I'm gonna go over also on the crease and blend it. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the other eye. I like to go also on the bottom of my eyelids, and I'm going to use a little bit of that sauce, which is the lighter brown. And I'll go under my eyes. That sauce again. I'll go under. Alright, so now I'm going to use my concealer brush, which is that flat one. And I'm going to use this really light color here, the Ounce shimmery color, and I'll go right there at the corner of my eyebrows. And I'll highlight that brow bone right there. And kind of blend it a little bit downwards. So just a little bit there. And so then we're gonna start on the darker part of our smoky eye, and I build this up, so I go slowly. So I'll find a color that's darker, so I'll go on the same palette here, and I'm gonna use, I'll use this El Fuego here, which is this third reddish brown, and I will apply to the whole bottom lid, the whole lid. This a reddish color, darker. I'm using a little eyeshadow brush. This one is from New Skin also. Just a small compacted eyeshadow brush will do. And I just apply it to the whole lid. I think every time I do my eyes, I picked a different eyeshadow color to use. So you guys don't have to be so set on these colors that I'm using. You just have to find what you have already in hand and find colors that complement each other. You know, so use a little more, a little lighter brown, reddish color on your crease, and then a darker one on your eyelid. And then you build. Since I'm gonna use some of this El Fuego also on my bottom lash line also. I kind of line my eyes with the same brush. I love the Urban Decay eyeshadows, but I really love the NYX eyeshadows. They're great. They're very pigmented. I love NYX products, period. And they're very affordable. Yet they have a really high quality. So, alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use some of this Ashes color also, that is darker even. And I'm going to go over it with the same brush, and I'm going to go onto my eyelid. All over the top lid here. And I stop at the crease, so I'll go on it and I'll stop at the crease. And I'm gonna go ahead and kind of smoke it on the bottom lash also with the same color, Ashes. So you see I'm building it. I put more color on the outer corners of my eye as compared to the inner. I kind of just blend it in and leave that inner corner a little more, you know, naked, if you call it. I don't like my inners so dark. I like to bring out my eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go find another, I have another eyeshadows here. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna use this really dark, I'm gonna use the Naked palette also from Urban Decay. This is the Smoky palette. And I'm gonna use their black market. This is the black eyeshadow, and this one is a matte, so it doesn't have any shimmer to it. So I'm gonna use this on the very bottom, really close to my eyelashes, and I'm gonna align my lashes with it, and then blend it up a little bit so that it just stays on the eyelid. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of this, whatever's left over on my brush, and I'm gonna go over the bottom lash, just very on the lash line. Then I'll do the other eye. So now that we were done with this black market, I like to go over with that reddish color again. And I use my fluffy brush. And I use the He Devil. And I'll blend it again, my crease, with this black shadow. So I'll go and I'll blend it up again, including the bottom lash. Oh. So sometimes I'll get a little bit of eyeshadow fall out on my cheeks, so I'll have to go ahead, and I usually use just a toilet paper and I wipe it off. So I need to go grab some of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I came back and I'm wiping my fingers because I have actually a lot of makeup on my fingers, and I just used the toilet paper and I kind of wipe it off. If I get too much, I might have to apply a little bit of something still under my eye. Like I'll just go over with my fluffy brush and I just kind of brush it off, and then I can just kind of go over with my highlighter. Anyways, so that's it. So we have our darks and our crease is done. And I got a little bit of eyeshadow on my eye. Now I go in with my black eyeliner, and I'm gonna line. This one is from NYX. It's just a black retractable eyeliner in black. And I line the waterline. And I go really heavy on this, and I even like to go a little bit out onto the lash line to give me the really smoky eye look. And then I line the top of my waterline also. So now that we've lined the inner eye, made it really black, then we're gonna go ahead and do my wings, my eyeliner wings. Sometimes I'll do, if I'm doing a smoky eye, sometimes I'll wing it, sometimes I don't. It depends on how I feel. So, because I'm feeling like the wings, it probably won't see it that much because it's so dark, but I'm gonna wing it anyway. So I start from the outer corner and I draw a line kind of going towards my eyebrow, and I go from the outside to the inside. This is how I can get, you know, a really fine line. And I'm using my NYX Epic eyeliner, or Epic ink liner in black from NYX also. And I love how thin, it's like a brush. It's not really a felt tip, it's more like a brush tip. And it really gives me that fine line. And then I'll go in from there and I'll create the top part of it. So that was the bottom side of my wing. And then I'll kind of fill it in. So I'll bring it in. Sometimes I have to pull it out farther. And then I'll come from the inside to the outside to do that part. And then I kind of fix, you know, like I have to look at it and I'm like, okay, how does it look better when my eyes open? So I'll bring it up and then I'll fill it in and create a little bit of a straighter line from the tip to the eye. I'll wing it a little farther if I have to. So that's how I wing my eyeliner. And then if I need to, I can kind of fill in more here. And then I just have to make sure that both eyes look the same. So I kind of find out how big I did on one side and then to the other, and I kind of compare it. And once I make sure also that this bottom side of my wing kind of connects with the down line of my eye. There you go. There are my wings. Alright, now that the wings are done, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to do mascara. I'm not a big fan of these lash curlers, only because they make my eyelashes look better, but I have a feeling that it kind of gets rid of a lot of my lashes, like it totally pulls them out. So I'm not a huge fan of it because of that. I'm not a huge fan of fake lashes also because I feel like every time I do it I pull off half of my real lashes. So I'm more of a just layered mascara kind of girl, and I like to layer it a lot. So I'm using my Maybelline Lash Sensational in black. I like it. I don't love it. I don't know, I haven't found a mascara that I absolutely love and die for that is budget friendly, like store brand, you know, kind of thing. So I'm using this one. It has a curved brush, so it's okay. One thing I like to do is when my mascara gets kind of thick or not as easy to apply, I like to go ahead and I use a little bit of eye drops, and I like just the tears one. When I have usually in my makeup drawer, I'll just use some artificial tears, you know, eye drops, and I'll drop, you know, 3 or 4 drops inside my mascara, and I kind of blend it in there, and it becomes real nice and smooth again. And I can do that so many times and it still keeps my mascara, you know, fluidy, I guess you call it, or anyways. And that's what I do with my mascara. So with my mascara, I apply it pretty heavy, and you can kind of wiggle it on your base and pull it. The trick is to apply it really well to the whole lash, from the base to the tip, so you don't miss anything. Since I'm not gonna use a fake lash anyways, you know, I need to apply it really well. Otherwise, you can't really see that lash really well. And I'll apply it to the bottom lash and the top lashes when I'm doing the smoky eye. I'll let it kind of dry on that one side and I'll do the other side. And then I go back and I apply it again. So I went ahead and I found my Q-tip and I just flicked off, you know, the dried mascara. And once I do my eyes and my makeup, I feel like sometimes I have to retouch some of the stuff, and especially with my highlighter, my blush, or my contouring. So I'm gonna use, actually, I have this Bobbi Brown eyeshadow. It's a sparkle eyeshadow in Ballet Pink number 3. And I just kind of go over my cheekbones with it. I really like how sparkly it is. It's kind of hard to see sometimes on camera, but it's got the shimmery as compared to the metallic look. It's really pretty. You know how it gives you that glowy, sparkly. But you can use any highlighter if you'd like. I used to have another one from Hard Candy from Walmart that I really liked. I haven't been able to find that same exact one. I'm out of it. They have some other ones that I haven't tried yet, so maybe they're really good too. I just haven't tried. Yeah, so I like this one because it gives me that little sparkle that I really like. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna redo a little bit of my contouring so that it can kind of darken it up a little bit more. Since everything is so much darker, I kind of like to go over it a little bit sometimes to kind of make sure that it's all good. And now onto the lipstick, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna line my lips with this NYX matte lip liner in suede. It's a matte lip liner. This one is in the shade Sandstorm. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my, this is my NYX also Pinup Pout lipstick. This is in the shade Corset. And then I like to go over my lipstick with a little lip gloss, and I'm using the NYX Lingerie lip gloss, and it's shimmer, chatoyant, and shade Butter. And this one I don't do much. I just do my bottom lip, and then I just kind of mix it up, blend it. So after I'm done with my lipstick, it's the last piece. I go ahead and I use my MAC Prep+Prime Fix Plus, and I spray everywhere so that it doesn't look, you know, powdery or cakey. And I'll go ahead and I'll just kind of fan it off a little bit. Kind of dry it, and then I go ahead and I use my Urban Decay All Nighter. It's my setting spray, and I spray it all over also. And I fan it off again to dry it up. And that's it for my makeup. I'm gonna go ahead and let my hair down, and you guys can see the final thing. Alright guys, so now you've seen how I've done it, and here's the final look. And I hope you like it, and if you have any questions, you know, leave me a comment, and I'd love to be able to hear from you, what you think. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell button, so that if you know, that way whenever I post a new video, you can be notified. And okay, that's it. Love you guys. Bye.